Futurians are fellow travelers. Travelers into the future that we've heard, listened to, seen, peeked, collectively formulated that, imagined it together, closed our eyes and saw it through one eye together, all of us collectively, every single source of our energy collaborating and seeing it, and then saying, we're traveling together, and it's gonna be long, maybe hard, but we're gonna do it together, and we're gonna create that future that we've heard, and we've listened, and we've genuinely, collectively designed.
The Futurian listens to the future to start feeling and sensing what information he or she needs to know at that moment. What does the future needs from you? And that's part of what we're going to be doing this weekend.
So what we're doing is we're reverse engineering the future. Rather than saying, how do we get out of the mess, we flip it the other way and say, we did it. We achieved the planetary civilization in harmony with all life. Now let's reverse engineer how we did it. Let's use imagination and creativity and play to reverse engineer from the future.
This Futurian journey has started tapping into our own sense of self, to listen to one another, to listen to nature, to listen to what comes up in the moments of silence. And what I have noticed has happened is that we have started to ask really important questions.
The age of having has come to an end. The new time is the age of being, and it calls for detachment and behavioral changes in relation to the material world.
Sometimes we are so busy what we do on a daily basis that we sometimes we foresee the future, but we don't think that we are the future and what we need to be doing now. Like, I need to transform something now to have the future I want.
What we have to face as challenges with the climate change, with migration, with the rise of inequalities, with youth unemployment, with lack of gender inequality, at the same time has never, as far as I know, happened in humanity. So if we don't stand together, not as I, but as we, and take that leap of faith into the future, we will not be able to come and witness any prosperity.
One of the things I completely believe in, listening, and again listening is the way forward for us. And for me is understanding and listening to many, many beautiful ideas has given me the hope.
We are living in a very important moment in human history, like a crucible moment. And leadership will define how we can meet the challenges of the future. And YGS probably have a role to play, to contribute to a more positive future.
I really like this saying that is a Chinese proverb which says, I do not know the solution, but I admire the problem. And for me, I look to the many challenges we face with great sense of admiration. And that takes me out of a space of fear and I guess out of a space of inactivity.
Being here and living this experience was such a rich experience we reach out to each other, we reach out to the soil, we reach out to the trees, we reach out to the sea, we reach out to the air.
Transcends you in some way, right? So we meditated, we breathed, we sometimes even cried, right? So we challenge ourselves intellectually, but also emotionally. And that's not something that you can find in any other high-level gathering, at least from my experience. So I'm extremely grateful for that.
How sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, oh, now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Siri Guru De, Siri Guru De.
To me, listening to the future first means being here, you know, being in nature, in Costa Rica, in a country that has been able to look at its nature and makes it a source of pride and wealth. And it's really something that is putting us in a position to open our mind, our hearts, our imagination to new collaborations, to new business models.
Many of the good things we have in Costa Rica were built by the decisions of our predecessors. So that's a constant reminder of whatever we decide in this point of time, regardless of the present juncture, it's going to affect the future. So what we do now definitely is going to affect the life of our children and grandchildren.
Unless people like Dave and Georgie and the YGLs and Lucian and others put these agendas at the core of our conversations, at the core of our thinking, at the core, invite us to think about the future, we can in our own lives every day get stuck in the present or in the very near-term future. So what has happened with this gathering of the young global leaders is that we've been encouraged to stretch out further into the future.
When I'm closing my eyes, I don't just listen. I'm seeing and I'm touching and I'm feeling, I'm tasting, I'm smelling at the same time. And the more all of us are sharing and connecting, the clearer it gets.
We all have to be Futurian because if we don't dream, we cannot achieve. So everybody should be dreaming.
The future is telling me that we need nature more than the nature needs us. The future is also telling me that we're just one part, a very, very small part of something that is much, much bigger. The future is also telling me that there is hope. I was really elated. I was almost floating. As if we were already there and could celebrate as Futurians what we had achieved. That's what the future told me.